friends. This is a big learning curve for me, so I appreciate all the help that I've gotten from, actually, I'll just introduce you to two people. Dawn isn't here tonight, but Lillian Malverdara is the one that's helping with the Zoom, and Dawn Baker is the one that does all of the editing and putting it on YouTube. So for those of you that may not have known, these are now put on YouTube within 2 or 3 days after the full moon itself. So if you ever have to miss a Zoom meeting, you can always go to the YouTube channel, just Karen Johannsen YouTube, and you can see it recorded there. So welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. Yeah, thank you for being patient with everything here, some of the glitches that are happening. So I realize that, we're here to talk about the astrology of the full moon, but I also would like to address for a few minutes, what might be going on in our own lives. I'm not sure about the rest of you, but I know for myself, I find myself kind of cycling in and out, feeling sort of okay sometimes, and then all of a sudden going into kind of a funky place where I feel edgy and upset easily and frustrated and down on myself because I'm feeling all those things. So that doesn't help, right? Like the Buddha said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So feeling the feelings that aren't so much fun is painful, but then we tell ourselves a story about it and that increases the suffering. So I was in one of those places last week for a few days. I felt sort of like that old Peanuts cartoon. Did you ever see that cartoon where that, I think his name was Pigpen. He walked around with that black cloud over his head all the time, dragging it with him wherever he went. And one of the things I realized is that my body just doesn't tolerate all that negativity for very long anymore before it starts really screaming at me to do something or to stop. It's just too painful and it's exhausting. I just have no energy. I get really lethargic and I don't want to do anything and unmotivated. So one of the things that I do when I get in those places and I realize that I've sat on my pity pot long enough, I go to this collection of cards that I've collected over the years of inspirational verses or poems or sayings that have inspired me at one time or other, and I just read through them. And I also try to deepen my spiritual practice, so spend a little more time with my feet on the ground outside and a little more time meditating, which helps me kind of get back into alignment. But as I was going through this pile of cards, I came across two things that really shifted things for me. And so I wanted to share them with you tonight because I just feel like they were so helpful to me. And I know that it's a challenging time for everyone. We're all struggling. And so I was hopeful that this might help you like it helped me. So the first was something I wrote several years ago, and I didn't write it myself, but I neglected to write down who the author was, so I apologize for that. But it was called A Morning Intention, and it went like this. May I this day keep my heart open. And I realized that when I get negative like that, my heart starts to close down, and that really doesn't feel good. The second intention, may I remain curious, regardless of what difficulties may arise. And I think that's such a good reminder that if we don't want to get totally sucked in to those mood swings or to the chaos in the world, if we get curious about them, it gives us a little distance from it and we become able to step back a little bit and look at it, to become curious about it. Oh, what is this frustration? What is this anger? What is all this negativity? Where did that come from? The next one, which is the one that resonated the most with me. May I generate a kind heart toward myself. I mean, I thought, wow, I certainly wasn't doing that. You know, I was blaming myself. I was critical. I was judgmental. I wasn't treating myself very friendly. I wasn't being a friend to myself. And finally, may I see what I do without turning it against myself. So again, it's not about not noticing or not paying attention or not allowing. We notice, but then we don't turn it against ourselves. We notice it, allow it. Don't tell yourself a story about it. So let me just say it one more time. May I this day keep my heart open. May I remain curious, regardless of what difficulties may arise. May I generate a kind heart toward myself. May I see what I do without turning it against myself. So that was the first thing I came across that started to kind of shift things for me. And then the second thing was this poem that I've read many times. So some of you may have heard it many times, but it's one that to me is so soothing that I want to read it for you. It's called Blessing in the Chaos, and it's by Jan Richardson. To all that is chaotic in you, let there come silence. Let there be a calming of the clamoring, a stilling of the voices that have laid their claim on you, that have made their home in you, that go with you even to the holy places, but will not let you rest, will not let you hear your life with wholeness or feel the grace that fashioned you. Let what distracts you cease. Let what divides you cease. Let there come an end to what diminishes and demeans, and let depart all that keeps you in its cage. Let there be an opening into the quiet that lies beneath the chaos, where you find the peace you did not think possible and see what shimmers within the storm. So we're going to do our alignment now, and as we do this, I would ask you to see if you can sink for a few minutes into the quiet that lies beneath the chaos. So let's close our eyes for a moment. And imagine with me, if you will, that all of us are sitting together in a beautiful room with cushions and chairs on the floor, candles all over the room, giving the room a soft glow. There's such a feeling of peace here. And now I'd like you to place your attention gently on your heart. See if it's possible for you in this moment to generate a kind heart toward yourself. You might want to place your hand on your heart as a way to help you feel that. Imagine a sun at the center of your heart and feel that warmth that light fill you. Generate a kind heart to yourself. And now, with an act of intention, send that light around the circle, touching each person in the circle, heart to heart. See a line of living light connecting each person in our circle. And then gently direct your attention to the area above your head. And imagine the light of the soul as a radiant ball of light sitting right above your head. And then in your imagination, look around the circle and see each person's radiant ball of light above their head. And then again, with an act of intention, send the light of your soul light around to connect with each person's soul, soul to soul. So now when we look at our circle, we see two rings of light connecting all of us heart to heart, soul to soul. And take a moment now to consciously open your heart to receive the love and the light of every other person's soul and heart in this group. See if you can feel that love and that light coming to you from each person here. This is your group. You can come here anytime and connect and feel held and supported by the love and the light that is here for you. So now I'd like you to repeat to yourself silently. I am one with my group brothers and sisters. And all that I have is theirs. May the love which is in my soul pour forth to them. May the strength which is in me lift and aid them. May the thoughts which my soul creates reach and encourage them. Thank you. So these times are all about trying to keep our hearts open. And when we can't do that, to love and accept ourselves in spite of closing down. I mean, that was one of the things I felt last week was I knew what would help and I didn't want to do it. So could I accept myself not wanting to get out of the place where I was? It's a big job. And it's not just that we're feeling our own feelings, we're taking on the pain and the confusion of the world. So I think it's really important to try to accept ourselves wherever we are and expand our hearts whenever we can. So tonight we celebrate the signs of Leo and Aquarius. The sun is in Leo, the moon is the opposite sign in Aquarius. And Leo is all about opening the heart, associated with the lion. So the Wizard of Oz, the lion was looking for courage. It takes courage, takes the courage of a lion to listen to our hearts, does it not? I think we're much more likely to listen to our heads and our thoughts. And I'm reminded of that bumper sticker that says, "Don't believe everything you think." And that's a good reminder, because I think it's hard not to believe our thoughts. So last month we talked about how one sign sort of leads developmentally into the next sign. And so we just came out of the sign of Cancer, where we learned that our personalities, our emotional body, our mental body, our physical body, all took physical form in the sign of Cancer. And so that form is immersed in the consciousness of masses. The Cancer personality hasn't yet really achieved independence from the family or from the tribe or the culture or the group. And that's the work of Leo. Two of the dominant qualities of Leo experience are sensitivity and self-awareness. The Leo person has to begin to know himself or herself as an individual, more than as a part of a family or a peer group. He must recognize his own wholeness and uniqueness. That's the first step, developing that strong sense of the self. But at first, when the Leo personality is first being formed and merged, that sensitivity only relates to himself, not necessarily to anyone else. He's sensitive to what other people think. He wants to shine. He wants to be the actor on the stage. He wants to be the sun around which all the other planets revolve. And remember again that these are generalities. These don't apply to every Leo. It totally depends on the chart and what other aspects are interfering with that or how strong the Leo is. I mean, I have a daughter who has a sun in Leo, and she's never wanted to be the center of attention. She's never wanted to be on the stage. So you have to just really take this as a generalization. But initially, anyway, on the Leo journey, he's very aware of other people's opinions, and those opinions are registered in his emotional body. He reacts emotionally to everyone's opinion. So he's very aware of other people's opinions, and that becomes his driving force to make sure that everyone thinks highly of him. Once the soul begins to impact the personality of Leo, that sensitivity can grow into a sensitivity toward others. He becomes more sensitive to his impact, how his behavior affects other people. And he also becomes more sensitive to the larger issues, not just the tunnel vision of his own small self, but he can begin to be sensitive to injustices, to economic disparity, to the protection of the environment. He basically has to learn to connect with his heart. And the poet May Sarton describes this Leo journey beautifully, so I want to quote her poem, which I've always also have read several times, so you may be familiar with it. But this is truly the Leo journey. Now I become myself. It's taken time, many years and places. I've been dissolved and shaken, worn other people's faces, run madly as if time were there, terribly old, crying a warning, hurry, hurry. You will be dead before what? Before you reach the morning, or the end of the poem is clear, or love is safe in the walled city? Now, to stand still, to be here, to feel my own weight and density. Now there is time, and time is young. Oh, in this single hour, I live all of myself, and I do not move. I, the pursued, who madly ran, stand still, and stop the sun. I mean, can we all identify with that journey? Aren't we all aware of when we are wearing a mask or playing a role? I was reading a book lately, a woman's memoir, where she became aware of the masks and the roles that she had played her whole life that she was so unaware of. And finally, when she recognized this part of herself that wasn't her true authentic self, she gave it a name. She called it her representative. So she would say things like, well, my representative was at that party tonight. My representative was having that conversation. And she became very aware of that part of herself that was not her true authentic self. So the goal here is to express more and more from our authentic self, to be here and feel our own weight and density. Leo is a fixed sign. It's a fire sign, and it's ruled by the sun on the level of the personality, the soul, and the spirit. Leos are meant to shine, but not just to shine on themselves, but to bring that radiant sun to shine on the world. That's the Leo challenge. One of the symbols for Leo, as we said, is the lion, because the Leo personality wants to be king of the jungle. He roars and everybody obeys. He embodies the qualities of will and power. But the soul-infused Leo, lion, uses his power and his authority, his will, in service to the world, not just in service to himself. So the sun is our life force. So this month of Leo, we should feel our energy moving somewhat outward, even given the current restraints. But there's more solar energy available to us this month. So even perhaps when we don't go out into the world, we can use that solar energy to bring the light of the sun into our hearts and radiate it out into the world as love and light and warmth and compassion. We don't have to go anywhere to do that. We just embody the light that we are. And I've been working lately with honoring the subtle beings that share my living space with me and my yard with me. Because, you know, they're there. They're angels and devas and nature spirits and elementals who share our living quarters with us, who live in our homes. And I think it's a real wonderful opportunity to share our appreciation and our gratitude for what they bring to us. You know, if we walk around our home with our hearts full of gratitude and love and appreciation, those beings can feed off of that just as they feed us. So it's another reason to sort of be really aware of the type of energy that you're holding in your body and what you're radiating out into the world. So of course I felt guilty having all those negative feelings because I thought, oh no, I'm sending all this negative energy to all those beautiful angels that live here with me. So don't do that to yourself, but at least be aware that there are unseen beings who share your space with you and who work really hard to work with you to create the environment in your home that you want to live in. So I often say, you know, what I want in this home is a feeling of welcome and safety and joy and harmony. And will you work with me to create that in here? So anyway, just a reminder that we embody the light that we are whenever we can. One of the mantras for Leo is this: more radiant than the sun, purer than the snow, subtler than the ethers is the self, the spirit within me. I am that self. That self am I. I am that, and that am I. We are connected. I don't remember who it was that said, maybe it was some Buddhist, that look at every other person as if they were your mother, because maybe they were in some lifetime. And that helps me when I get judgmental of people. I think this person is someone's child. And that person could also be my mother from a previous life or whatever. Anyway, the idea is to not feel a sense of separation, but to honor our connection, how we are connected. In medical astrology, Leo is associated with the heart and the spine. So the heart, where our sense of vitality, and the spine, where our will is. And we do need the courage and the willpower of that lion to walk our own path. It takes resolve and will to live the life we were born to live. So just for a few minutes now, I'm going to talk about the opposite sign, Aquarius. It's very interesting that in a medical astrology, Aquarius rules the circulatory system. So if you think about how symbolic that is, Leo rules the heart, which is our life force energy, and Aquarius rules the bloodstream. So we generate that loving heart, and Aquarius distributes it. Aquarius is the networker. They're also known to be very independent, unconventional, sometimes rebellious, but often they're very socially aware and they're progressive in their thinking. So the challenge always with opposite energies is to bring them together somehow and harmonize them and blend them so they work well together. So how do we blend those fire sign of Leo with the air sign of Aquarius? Well, like I said, Aquarius is an air sign, and air signs tend to be very mental. So an Aquarius person will generally be fairly impersonal in their relationships. They won't have as much connection to that heartfelt energy of Leo. So the Leo can bring that warmth to the Aquarian personality. And Aquarius can bring the impersonality to the Leo warmth, because the Leo warmth can often get into so much open-heartedness that they become dependent on other people or codependent on other people. Aquarius brings that energy of saying, step back a little bit and look at this from a more impersonal perspective. Leo has to move from the love of himself to the love of humanity, which is represented by Aquarius. He has to move from the focus on the individual to the universal. Aquarians have usually a very universal perspective on life. Leo has to move from serving just himself to serving the larger group, the whole. Leo's a fire sign, so again, the heart. Aquarius is air sign, so the mind. So they demonstrate together an intelligent love. Love without intelligence is just codependence, I think. I mean, there's that story of the Buddha in one lifetime where he walked into a lion's lair and saw that the cubs were starving and felt such compassion, such an open-hearted compassion for these starving cubs that he sacrificed himself and was eaten by the lions to feed the babies. So, I mean, you have to admire that compassionate heart, but there would have been other ways to help those cubs if he had had access to his mental abilities. So intelligent love. So we have to move from the me of Leo to the we in Aquarius, the personal to the universal. So these are our challenges this month. To love, but not dominate. To care without becoming overly dependent. To own our own power, to embody it, but not to use it to manipulate or power over other people. I'd like to read one more quote before we go into meditation. This is from a book called The Discipleship in the New Age by Alice Bailey. Let the pure light of reason and understanding dispel the fogs in which I long have walked. Do you feel sometimes like you're walking around in a fog? I certainly do. Let the mists disappear and let the cloud of care disperse within the radiant light of the sun, which ever shineth in the fog. That sun is found within my mind. Within that sun, I stand. So let us prepare for meditation, please. Lillian will put the symbol up on the screen. So the meditation tonight is actually a guided visualization created by David Spangler, but it relates beautifully to the themes of Leo and Aquarius. So make sure you are seated comfortably with the spine relatively erect, but with no tension or strain. Make sure your phones are off so you will not be disturbed. And begin by just gently noticing your breath. Just your gentle, rhythmic breathing. Begin to feel the body let go, release. And then breathe a silent Om into the mental body, allowing the brain and the mind to become still. And breathe a silent Om into the physical body, releasing all tension and constriction. And then breathe a silent Om into the emotional body, neutralizing any discordant energies. And then in your mind's eye, imagine a spiritual star at the center of the earth. It's a green star, radiant with the power of planetary life. See it in your mind's eye as clearly as you can. And if it's difficult for you to visualize, just imagine it's there. And now imagine that light from this star in the center of the earth, rising up through the earth, surrounding you, bathing and nurturing the cells of your body. And forming a chalice around you. Now, imagine a spiritual star within the sun in the sky. It's a golden star radiant with the power of cosmic life. Imagine the light from this star descending from the heavens and pouring into the chalice of earth light that surrounds you and fills your cells. Where the light of these two stars meet in you, a new star emerges, a radiant star of self-light, born of the blending of the individual and the universal, the planetary and the cosmic, the physical and the spiritual. This self-light surrounds you and fills you, radiating back down deep into the earth and out into space, connecting with the star below you and the star above you. You are a chalice of self-light within a pillar of spiritual energy rising from the earth and descending from the cosmos. Take a moment to feel this self-light within you and around you. Your connection to the earth, your connection to the cosmos, your connection to your own unique and radiant self. Take a deep breath now, drawing this light into and throughout your body. Imagine a radiant sun at the center of your chest. Wherever you go, imagine this sun shining 360 degrees from that center, radiating light all around you and out into your world. Include all those that you see and interact with now in that light. And imagine that the light that is within you is the same light that is within them. Imagine living your life this way, seeing the light in every person you meet, and radiating outward your own inner sun. This is the gift of Leo and Aquarius. take a deep breath now and bring yourself quietly back to your room. Feeling your body, feeling your feet on the floor, perhaps wiggling your toes, your fingers, bringing yourself fully back into your body. So I'd like to close with the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om. 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 Namaste, my friends. Thank you. Just a few announcements. Tomorrow is the day of contact, called the Day of Contact, and the Day of Safeguarding. The exact moment of the full moon is tomorrow morning at 8:59 in the morning. So if it's possible for you to be in meditation at that time, it's a really wonderful opportunity to get the full force of the downpouring of the energies that are coming through. And we're asked to safeguard those energies throughout the day. So to hold them in your body, kind of walk through your day with an inner silence if you can, and protect those energies from any misuse. And then the following 2 days, so that would be Tuesday and Wednesday, are called the days of radiation and distribution, where you now become a radiatory instrument, putting those energies out into the world. So just to be mindful of the energy that you're holding and how you want to radiate it out into the world. So usually I close my ceremonies with music, but I haven't figured out yet how to do music on Zoom. So I'm just going to read to you the song that I usually close with, and then you can be on your way. May the longtime sun shine above you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Thank you, dear friends. I'll see you next month. Blessings. Also, if you care to make a comment or give me feedback or remarks, you can click on the chat box, and I will be happy to read those and respond if I can. All right. Thank you. Thank you.